it's Mia. I know it's pretty late, but I just thought I'd give you a call and check up on you and see how you were doing. I recently tuned into myself on the How to Train Your Dragon series and the idea that sometimes your wings can help get you places. You just have to let your dreams be your wings. So this is my How to Train Your Arms, Shoulders, and I guess forearms routine, but also how to reinvent yourself in self-love. Do you ever wonder why being alone feels so uncomfortable? No, actually sit down and think about it. Why do we first reach for our phones when walking past strangers to avoid eye contact? Why do we randomly sip our water in between sets even though we're not doing anything? Why do we always need music playing in the car? Why do we always check our phones every 5 minutes? Why is it so horrifying to sit in a restaurant by yourself while everyone around you is seated at tables with friends and family? Since when did that become our norm? I've caught myself in small moments like that quite too often, and I start wondering, what is it that I'm running from? It just seems as though that I'm constantly trying to be distracted from being alone, but why? Maybe I'm just accustomed to distancing myself from meeting the individual I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. I've always been someone who enjoys doing things others don't, or something that makes others uncomfortable. A few months ago, I went out to eat alone to prove that you can eat alone at a restaurant. I go grocery shopping by myself, picking my own food and my own clothes. I love going on long drives by myself to new towns, and people always tell me, "Mia, you're so outgoing. How do you have so much confidence?" And it's funny because I'm actually incredibly introverted. I just refuse to let the fear of things in society dictate how I should live my life. I truly think that heartbreak puts you in a position that nothing else in life can put you in. Who are you when nobody is choosing you? What parts of you only existed because that person made them exist? Who are you truly? Those are actually really terrifying questions, and you don't have to answer that right now. There are just countless nights where I find myself laying restless, staring at my ceiling, wondering what was so wrong with me, and I end up breaking down and having an identity crisis. I just think it's funny to me that if you would have asked me during the summer of 2025, so last year as of right now, during the exact same time frame, I would have never stopped talking. I would have just laughed in your face at the news. We met at the gym. It started off with pull-ups of all things. We were both at the front desk at the same time. "You're the girl that can do pull-ups, right?" "I can do just about 10. "That's so cool. I have this weighted pull-up belt that you can borrow. I think you could really be good at it." Looking back now, for how my life has changed, from something so out of the ordinary, it just completely altered my life. It wasn't fireworks that night, although that came along down the line. It wasn't a movie scene. It was just two people, two souls having a connection. The connection grew, and so did the love for the gym. He gave me a new meaning to exercises, the way I saw life, and for the first time ever, I could see the world in color just as I did as a kid. And for a long time, I thought he broke my heart. And I don't actually think that's true anymore. I've realized the gym isn't teaching me how to lift weights. It's actually teaching me how to trust myself, how to build these habits for myself to keep coming back to each day to keep myself in line. And I showed up for myself, time and time again. Late nights, empty stomach, chain with metal plates dangling from the trapped cell, loved you a little blasting in my headphones, and pages with not a single inked word on my mind. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's built by laying the bricks of consistency to help build your house, to help build you. Maybe that's why I've grown to be very thankful my life took the course that it did. I spent so much of my life looking for someone who would choose me and be let down when no one did. No one will ever fully choose me besides the Almighty himself. However, I had forgotten that I had never really chosen myself, or even just taken time to myself for that matter. All those days where I would go on drives in my car, I was accompanied with music. And I would always be afraid of getting judged for sitting at a table alone at restaurants while no one was sitting across from me. It was always, most of all, difficult to re-rack my weights after doing pull-ups with somebody for so long without the voice of comfort telling me how proud he was of me and how far I had come. Maybe that's what self-love actually is. It's not the bubble baths, it's not the cute kawaii skincare routines, it's not the motivational quotes and the random one-day adrenaline rushes to get your life back together that eventually dies off the next day. Actually waking up every day, it's setting the reminder for yourself that even if nobody claps for you, you're still becoming who you're proud of and you can clap for yourself. We are always constantly distracted. Not once do we actually sit still and breathe into who we are becoming. I've also realized that over the past year, the hardest voice to actually hear is your own. Not because it isn't there for most of us. It's actually constantly competing with everyone else's. Think about it. From the moment we entered this world at birth, people started handing us instructions on who we're supposed to become. Be more talkative. Be quieter. No, you can't do that. Yes, it's good. Go to college. Get married by 25. If you don't go to college, you're wrong. Dress like this. Smile like that. Post like this. It's exhausting. After a while, you actually stop asking yourself what you actually want. That's why so many people wake up feeling lost. Not because they don't have any unique traits to them, but it's because they've spent so many years collecting pieces from everyone else's puzzle. We all have different outlooks on life and puzzles that we're building. A green piece from somebody else's may look like it would fit within the edges of yours, but it didn't come in the same box. If you think differently, you're weird. If you don't go to college and choose your own path, you won't make it. You're unrealistic. No matter what direction you go, someone will always say something. If you're going to be judged either way, let me tell you this, why don't you just build the life that you want? This is why I love doing things alone. Why I make the videos that I'm doing now. Some are cheesy and some are random clips of me dancing, doing pull-ups on a fridge. This is why I sat alone at restaurants and observed. This is why I am okay with talking to strangers, even though everyone was like, don't talk to strangers, but that's actually how you meet your friends. I have learned to not care what anyone thinks. I'm not trying to prove to anyone anything. I do everything that I do to feel alive. I get a little closer to understanding myself when I do. That is what freedom is. Your decisions are no longer controlled or need approval now. You become who you actually are underneath all of the noise, blank pages, and exhausted muscles. You.